Hey all, let us start our first chapter, problem solving using computer. The first topic is system analysis. System is a functionally related group of elements. You know that our system is connected with the components. Components means it will be hardware component, and also we can deal with the software system which is used for completely fixing our task. And also, systems are created to solve problems. So, whenever we are using the systems, it is used for doing some task. It may be playing a song, playing a movie, gaming, anything. Then, the next point, system analysis and design also deal with the software development activities. Basically, system analysis and system design is the main point regarding to our software development system. So whenever a programmer is trying to develop a software, these two points have a great importance in these activities. Then, computers used to solve problems with given instructions. Whenever we are working with computers, the human beings are giving the instructions to our computer. Then only the system will understand the human task and the system will completely do that task properly with the instructions only. A program is a sequence of instructions to perform a specific task. So, whenever we are working with the computer, any task can be done there with the help of sequence of instructions. It have to follow a proper order like our English. In our English language, we have a proper grammar. So, like that, programming language have to carry some rules and regulations. That is known as syntax. And also, different stages are in our software development or program development area. That are writing algorithm, drawing flow chart, coding, and then execution. So basically, this is the product of system analysis. Then the next content is algorithm. It is a procedure or formula for solving a problem. The word related to an Arab mathematician, Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi, who lived 1200 years ago in Uzbekistan. It is a step by step instructions in a computer program. Whenever we are getting the problem to solve, we have to understand the program at first, what we have to do. And after that, we have to focus on the answer and then we have to make a proper step by step process. That is actually known as algorithm. We can have an example. So the first example is algorithm to prepare a tea. We know what is tea and we know how to make a tea. So just transforming the process into an algorithm here. So the step 1, start. Step 2, input water to our vessel. Step 3, boil the water. Then step 4, put sugar, tea powder and milk powder. Then step 5, stop. You can notice that thing, guys. The starting point will be start and the ending point or ending step will be stop. In the case of algorithm, you have to follow this. And whatever you can see inside these portion, the other steps can change according to the algorithm or according to the procedure. So this is the way of making a tea. Just imagine that how you are going to make a tea. Then we have another example here, another algorithm here to submit an application. As we have done, step 1 will be start. Step 2, prepare the application. Some questions will be there and you have to give some answers on that appropriate spaces. Then step 3, submit application. Step 4, check whether the applications are invalid or not or valid or not. That means if you are submitting something, some application in a wrong format, or you are giving some wrong data, or you are giving some wrong submission, then it will check that are you giving a proper application to proper space or not. Then step 5, if valid, issue membership, else reject the application. So if you are giving a valid application here, it will give you the membership. And if you are not giving any valid valid application here, then the else condition will be running here, and that is the system will reject your application. And then the final step was obviously step 6, stop. Then what are the features of an algorithm? All algorithms start with the start and end with the stop. So these are the main two steps in our program, the starting point and ending point. After stop, we cannot write any extra steps there. Then algorithm should be in a step-by-step manner. So we have to follow the sequential instructions order there. We cannot disorder it. Then each step should be clear. No any distraction have to be in our code. It should be clear for every single person if a person is reading the algorithm for a first time. Then it should provide some means to meet some unexpected situation like division by 0. You know that if we are dividing the values, we have to get some value properly there. But in case if you are dividing any value by 0, then it won't give you any proper data there. It will only produce the error message in our system, in our computer. Then you have to focus just if that answer is going wrong or erroneous, then how can you manage it? That step also you have to focus in the case of algorithm. Then what are the characteristics of algorithm? Mainly we have 5 algorithm characteristics. First one is effectiveness. It's just easy to understand, it's very simple to use and all. Then input can be given by user, or generally internally we can accept the input from the system itself. Two ways are there. One, we can give the data, like user can give the data, and the other thing, you can get the data from internally of the system. Then finiteness, it should end in a finite number of steps. If we are not ending the system, not ending the characteristics of our system, then it won't give you a proper output. It will make your system sometimes stuck. Then definiteness, steps have to be clearly defined. And then final thing, that is our result or output. So output should have at least one in our program. At least one output should be there. Then simple notation of algorithm. You can see here problem. The first step problem will be there. Then we have to make the algorithm for our problem. And then we have to process it with the input. Then we can give the output. Then the next example is first n number printing system. You can see the step 1 start, step 2 read number n. So we are reading a number n. Up to n number we can print the value here. So reading the number n, the final number n. Then step 3, let number equal to 0. So the starting or initial stage will be 0. Then step 4, if number greater than or equal to n. If number greater than or equal to n. So we are giving the final number n here. If the number that we are giving is greater than n, then it will go to the step 7. And you know what 7 is? Stop. And if the value is not greater than n, not greater than or equal to n, then it will pass to step 5. Here you can see the data. The step is number equal to number plus 1. So if you are typing the value, the number equal to 1 here, then that number will increment by 1. So the next step will carry the number 2. Then step 6, print number. Then if you are giving the value 1 here, then it will print that number there. And also go to step 4. What is step 4? Step 4 is if number greater than or equal to n. It will check the condition again. Is that number is greater than or equal to n? If it is yes, then it will go to the stop, step 7. If it is wrong, then it will pass the answer to step 5. And it will continue the loop up to the number n. Then you can see another example that we have here. We have the triangle area. Triangle area. So the step 1 is start. Then inputting 3 values here, A, B and C. Then it calculate the area as equal to A plus B plus C by 2. Then area will be equal to SQRT of S star S minus A star S minus B star S minus C. Then printing the area of triangle, that is area. So the data will be printed there, and the last step end or stop. Then you can see also one more example is here to print the grades of a child. The first step is start. The second step, reading the mark or reading the percentage. Then step 3, if mark is greater than or equal to 80, then the grade will be A. And then it will pass the data to step 7, and that is display the grade. So if that student is carrying a mark which is greater than 80, then it will print the mark or display the mark. Then it will stop. And if this condition is wrong here, then it will go to the step number 4. If marks greater than or equal to 60 and marks less than or equal to 80. So that mark will be in between 60 to 80. Then the grade will be B. And it will automatically pass its control to step number 7. Printing the result, stop. And again, we have another condition, that is step number 5. If marks greater than or equal to 40 and marks less than or equal to 60, then the mark will be in between 40 to 60. Then the grade will be C, and going to the step 7, displaying the grade. And just imagine that student is carrying a mark which is below 40. Below 40. Then these 3 conditions are wrong here. It will only go to the condition number 6, that is display failed. Display failed. Then Display the grade, stop. Display failed means only it is showing the data, it has failed. No any grade is showing here, so it will automatically go to the condition stop and it will stop the algorithm. Then the next point is flow chart. Diagram that represents an algorithm or process. That means it's a pictorial or graphical representation of a program used to analyzing, designing, documenting or managing a process or program. So with the help of a flow chart, we can easily analyze a problem, how it is working, what will be its output, what is its input, everything. And also how we can design a program, what will be its documentation, everything. Then the flowchart uses various kinds of shapes with arrows. So let us check what are the shapes that flowchart is using. You can see here an oval symbol is here, which is also known as terminal, which is used for start or stop. Start or stop. Then the next, arrow marks. Here you can see a downward arrow and an upward arrow. Also you can use left arrow or right arrow, bended arrow, like all that. This is just known as flow lines or arrow marks, which is directing the shapes to the next shapes. Then one more symbol is there, that is parallelogram. It is used for input or output. If you would like to give some input or you need some output from a program, then it would be displayed with the help of this symbol. This symbol is used for input or output. And also a rectangle symbol is here, which is used for process. So whenever we need to process something, some arithmetic operation, some data movement or anything else, then we can use the rectangle symbol there. Then a diamond shape is here, which is used for decision making. In case, just imagine that you are working with an algorithm to make a tea. In your house, some member like to have black tea, some need milk tea. So a decision should be made there. In some glasses you have to pour some milk, in some glasses you don't need to pour the milk. So this is a kind of decision making point. So these kind of condition checking can be done with the help of this diamond shape, which is known as decision making step. If it is passing to a true answer, then that flow line is known as true line or yes line. If it is going to a false answer, it is known as a step no or false. And also we have another thing, that is a small round shape, that is known as connector. Connector. That means if you are drawing the flowchart in a page and suddenly the page is ending and you need a one more page there, then you can start with a round arrow and you can continue the flowchart. So it will never break that flowchart. And guys, we have one more example here for dividing two numbers. Dividing two numbers. You can see an algorithm is here and also a flowchart is here. So we have a step 1. Read two numbers, say A and B. A and B. Then step 2, C is equal to A by B. Then it will print the value C there and also going to the next step, that is stop. Then we can go to the flow chart. So the first step will be start. Second step will be reading A and B. C equal to A by B. Then it will print the data C. Whatever we are saving like A by B, the answer will be saved in C. It will print. Then the last step, end. then largest of two numbers. First step, start. Second step, read A, read B, and also it is checking that is A greater than B. If it is true, if A is greater than B, then it will print A. If the answer is wrong, that means A is less than B, then the answer will be no and the printing will be done like a B, print B, and it will go to the step stop. You can see the flow chart is here. The first step is start, reading A, read B, then condition checking is processing here with the diamond shape. Is A greater than B? If it is yes, then it will go to the first part, left part, that is print A. A greater than B is true, then print A. If it is wrong, then it will go to the part B. That means the right part, it will print the answer